On this gorgeous morning. Welcome. Today I want to talk to you about football, and you might be wondering, why on earth do we want to listen to football, Sandra, with the WLA? Well, the reason I want to talk to you about football is I have been completely inspired by Gareth Southgate. And if you don't know who Gareth is, he is the England manager. And the reason for my inspiration is it came as a bolt of lightning to me this week that what a brilliant manager he is. Now, I focus a lot on leadership. A lot of my stuff is about how do we inspire, how do we create the vision, how do we get people behind us, and I absolutely think we can all develop our leadership. But I was been so struck by the power of great management that I wanted to use the analogy of Gareth and what he's been up to for all of us and all the lessons that we can learn about leading, managing other people. So the thing that has struck me most is the fact that he has this amazing ability to what I would describe as individual responsibility and team accountability. So what he's done is he's enabled each individual to be very clear on who they are and what they bring, but also make the team really accountable. So, for example, he stripped away all the egos. There aren't any real big names. I mean, I didn't know any of the players, although my son admittedly did. But he took the kind of egos out of it. He's a very calm, very considered, very focused, really genuinely nice guy. And some of the things that he's been doing really struck me. So, for example, he looked over the past few years as to why were other teams scoring in the World Cup and why weren't England scoring as many. And he realised that a lot of the goals came from set pieces. So he watched, he learned, he analysed, and he brought that to his team, and he's focused and got them to play again and again, all different types of set pieces. And of course, we've been scoring goals. Another thing that struck me was in our penalty shootout this week, which we all were on the edge of our seats if we watched it. And again, what I picked up was that one of the players had been, who took a penalty, had been practicing a particular goal, a particular way of scoring a goal, and he'd been practicing that again and again. And what Gareth had done was to be very clear about saying, of course you can score goals, just hone your skill. So he works individually with them to work on what they need to do. And he got the goalkeeper to look at the players who typically take penalties, and he got him to look and analyse and watch, where do they take them, what are their tactics, and let's learn some best practice, but also let's find the weaknesses that we can do something with. How often do we step outside of what we know and look outside and learn from other people? And I think Gareth does that brilliantly. Another thing that I noticed is that Gareth, when at half time, I don't know if you saw this, but this made me chuckle, the players run like crazy off the pitch to get to their team briefing. The other players were the other teams were they stroll off, sweat pouring off them. But seriously, you watch it, if you watch another England game, they were running to the team briefing. And it made me laugh because I thought, how often in the world of work do our teams run to our team briefings? It doesn't happen, does it? You know, we're late, we go get a coffee. We don't want to kind of hear, what we're doing well, boss, where do we need to focus? What are the insights? What are the learnings? But somehow he's created this atmosphere. He's enabled the team. And one thing he's done is said to each of his players, you are responsible for your own area, so you're brilliant at whatever you're brilliant at, but you are also there to make goals and to defend against goals, because essentially that's all football is, isn't it? And he's enabled, so the team they know the strengths and the weaknesses of their team players. They know how to pass, how to head, who's going to be there. It's all about how do we work together as a team. And when the guys were taking the penalties this week, they were going up to the goalie, Pickford I think his name is, and shaking his hand and wishing him luck for when he stepped up to try and save the next goal. The whole ethos is about us and we and together, and he has created a brilliant accountability amongst his team players by understanding their strengths and weaknesses. He does a lot of one-on-one work with them. He's done a lot on mindset, getting them to think about not being are bothered by the magnitude of the stage they're playing on. So he's done a lot of work on that. He's got them to be clear on where other people are strong and where other people aren't so strong. But above all else, he's driven this ethos that it's a team that's responsible for winning, not an ego and not an individual. And I think he's brilliant. I just love him to bits. I think we can learn so much from him as a manager. And apparently the sales of waistcoats and M&S have gone through the roof, so people want to look like Gareth as well, or at least wear what he wears maybe. So anyway, that was my insight. As you can tell, I got quite passionate about that, but it just struck me that we can all become great managers, and not to forget that to work with our individuals, to work with our teams, so we can start to deliver the types of performance that we're seeing England do. So have a lovely weekend, and if you are watching the match, I will be too. Let's have our fingers crossed. All right, see you soon. Take care.